Donald Trump says he is a coward. Donald Trump says he's a little baby coward.
Donald Trump says he will not debate Kamala Harris again as both candidates hit the campaign trail in the battleground states. Mary Bruce is tracking the race. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Georgia. Both campaigns are out blitzing the battlegrounds, hitting those key swing states after that critical debate, as Donald Trump now says it will be their only one. On the campaign trail for the first time since her face-off with Donald Trump, Kamala Harris in North Carolina, challenging him to another debate.
2 nights ago, Donald Trump and I had our first debate. And I believe we owe it to the voters to have another debate.
Even as his aides and allies admit he was on defense almost the whole debate, Trump still claiming he was the winner.
As everyone saw 2 nights ago, we had a monumental victory.
But also saying he's done with debates.
So because we've done 2 debates and because they were successful, there will be no third debate.
I think this is some cowardly bullshit, okay? If he was dropping 10 points on Harris right now, that's valid. I mean, even then, it's not necessarily valid because, like, I think his people do demand blood, okay? It's one thing to just say, I'm not going to do any debates in the Republican primaries because, like, my closest opponent is not even 35 points near me. That's fine. That's one thing, right? That was probably a smart and calculated decision. But when the race is this fucking close, especially in key states, you know you don't want to do another debate because you got dumped on, okay? You got absolutely gutted. You got cumstered and dumpstered, and you don't want to do that again because it was fucking embarrassing. And it was embarrassing in the worst possible way for you because you came in, you thought you could make light work of Kamala Harris because you saw what we saw. She's not very charismatic. And also on top of that, she doesn't handle herself, at least in prior conditions, in a contested environment. Like Dana Bash, if she came in with the same energy that she brought to the table in the not so adversarial Dana Bash interview, she would have gotten destroyed. It would have looked terrible for her. But she came in hot. She was a little nervous in the beginning, and then she was very smooth, okay? Beyond that. And this is a problem for Trump. Why is this a problem for Trump? Because a lot of people want something positive out of the Democratic Party. They're like begging. They're like, listen, I want to vote against Donald Trump, but you got to give me a crumb of anything. And the entry point to that crumb is obviously humiliating Donald Trump, which she did expertly. There's more that she needed to do at this debate, and I talked about it immediately in the aftermath of the debate as well, in terms of like offering people things that will improve their lives, openly communicating that you're going to help people. That's kind of the fundamental principle behind a democratic process where the votes are earned and not expected, right? Obviously, we've completely lost the plot on that front, but she did the thing. She did the thing, and she looked very good at this debate, and Trump looked very bad at this debate. So this helps her. And I think a second debate would probably help her as well. That's precisely the reason why Trump doesn't want to do it. I don't even know if Donald Trump is capable of going into that debate stage and just having the old charisma and the juice that he once had. He doesn't have that same is it pep in your step? He does not have the same stamina, and he does not have the same pep in his step. Trump saying he doesn't want to debate is also a negotiating tactic to get the next debate on Fox. There's no way he doesn't do another one. The Fox debate will look so insane. It has to be on neutral ground, okay? People like Trump acts like ABC was not neutral ground. It was, dog. You just can't get away with fucking lying. Like, it's crazy to me that the idea that the ABC debate was actually not neutral and they were very pro Kamala Harris is like kind of stupid, because it's like, yeah, one side was just regularly lying. Like, that's the expectation from anyone. Okay, if we're living in a normal planet, if we're living in a normal universe and not the United States of America in 2024, the expectation should be, yeah, of course you're going to fact check. How the would any journalist or any commentator or any host of a television show let one of the two candidates get away with saying insane blood libel about like immigrants, dude? Of course you got to fucking fact check. They didn't really fact check Kamala because there was not that much to fact check. What are they going to fact check her on? The most that they could have done if they wanted to be a little bit more like needling on Kamala Harris's front is not let her get away with deflecting on direct questions like, do you feel better? Like, do you think Americans are better off now than they were 4 years ago? That is a very biased question. Trump received a lot of biased questions, and that was a biased question in the direction of Kamala Harris. The problem is Kamala Harris expertly deflected away by needling Trump, and then Trump took the bait, and then the conversation devolved. I mean, it just exploded in that situation. The moderator could have stood on that question and been like, please give us an answer, Madam Vice President, but they didn't do that. One thing you have to remember in this process is, beyond the actual candidates that are talking to one another, like, if one side is doing a fire hose of lies and the other side is just like massaging the truth a little bit in terms of like, misappropriating what Donald Trump was saying, and that is a lie still, but that's nowhere near as big as a lie. In the effort to continue the conversation, you just kind of let certain things go. They let a lot of shit that Trump was saying go, technically. They just only fact check the most glaringly obvious insanities. Donald Trump said a shit ton. He said Venezuelan gangs are overtaking Aurora apartments. That's a lie too. That's also a lie. Why didn't they fact check that? Donald Trump said that, migrants are responsible for tens of thousands of deaths. He said it all. He said his regular shit. The only thing that they fact checked was basically the most egregious lies that he was telling, which is, Haitians are eating your cats, your dogs, and your pets in general. CNN Harris campaign internals: PA looking rough. Michigan and Wisconsin look best internally. Pennsylvania looks rough, though very possible. North Carolina is feeling better to them this time around than Arizona. Nevada and Georgia both seem possible, though challenging. Michigan and Wisconsin are looking the best.
Now a new Reuters Ipsos poll has Harris leading Trump 47-42. The Harris campaign reporting they raised $47 million in the 24 hours after the debate, their biggest haul since the day she joined the race. That Reuters Ipsos poll also showing that 53% of voters who heard anything about the debate said Harris was the winner. Only 24% said the same about former President Trump. On the trail, Harris arguing the debate shows Trump is a man of the past without a plan for the future, signaling out the issue of health care. At the debate, Lindsey Davis asking him if he has an actual plan to replace the Affordable Care Act, known as Obamacare.
Obamacare was lousy health care, always was. It's not very good today. And what I said, that if we come up with something, and we are working on things, we're going to do it and we're going to replace it.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan.
That shit was so funny. It is very Simpsonian. It was very Homer. I have concepts of a plan.
I'm not.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now.
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now. When you're president, you start making plans. That's how it works. He used to do this shit all the time. It's pretty funny. He would do this all the time where he would go, I'm going to deal with Afghanistan. And then they'd be like, what are you going to do? He's like, I can't tell you because then the enemy will know. I can't tell you what I'm going to do. I don't want to let the enemy know. An actual child take? I know, but like, here's the problem. What do you mean he used to do it? He literally did that last week with Lex. Yeah, he used to do it. He still does it, but he used to too. Okay, that's my point. Like, he did this when he was running for president in 2016 and then successfully became president. He did this during his administration and he never really stopped doing it. What you have to understand is, in this time frame, over the course of the past 8 years, 9 years, I genuinely believe that the broader electorate and their demands have gotten dumber as well, both on the Democratic Party side and certainly on the Republican Party side. On the Republican Party side, I think that the electorate has gotten way more like insane, hysterical, and primed to believe like whatever kind of psychotic thing that Donald Trump says is real, especially if it corresponds to their personal biases that they already had. Like, immigrants are bad. So like, you can say anything about immigrants and they'll believe it and they'll just like advance that. They'll be like, no, it's definitely true, right? No matter how insane. And I think COVID greatly accelerated this process as well. Beyond that, like the number of people that also aren't really looking for any fucking seriousness from either candidate has grown, I think. Or maybe they always were like this, and I'm just like more annoyed by it as years go by, you know? Because I feel like there is just no interest whatsoever. There is no interest whatsoever from the Republican base for Donald Trump to be like, here's what I'm going to do. I think it's funny how the voters get dumber along with our elections, makes it aesthetic. Oh, that is what's going on, though. That is what's going on.
It's now mocking that answer.
He said, concepts of a plan. Concepts. No actual plan, concepts.
Still, the Harris campaign maintains she is the underdog, launching a more aggressive phase to build off her debate momentum. Now, Kamala Harris will be back in must-win Pennsylvania. Today, Donald Trump is in Nevada and out in California, where he's supposed to be holding a press conference later this morning as the final sprint to Election Day now ramps up, George.
I do hate that the post-Trump era of American politics unironically caused people's expectations to be even fucking lower from whichever party that they're voting for. And it's unimaginably frustrating to sit here and think about that every fucking day. Think about the conversations that we were having on the left in terms of like advancing certain policies when Bernie Sanders was running against Hillary Clinton. Medicare for all, like significantly better labor protections, free college, eviscerating, gutting student loan debt, okay? Doing massive student loan debt relief. All of these things were tangible. Raising the minimum wage. These were all like real policies that American people were talking about. Criminal justice reform, voting rights restorations. These are all things that even like the residual impact of this carried on into the 2020 cycle as well, where Joe Biden was like, I'm going to do the public option. You know, it's all gone. It's all gone. There is nothing. We have devolved. And the reason why, moving away from fossil fuels. Yes, a green economy, a focus on renewable energy. These were like things that at least the Democrats would like run on. And we just got none of that, dude. None of that. Drill, baby, drill. Whether you're blue or red, doesn't matter. We're drilling, okay? And you can't do a goddamn thing about it. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy that like on immigration, we have just, we are fucking bouldering towards Adolf Hitler. Straight up. Telling you, watch the 04 and 08 presidential debates. It feels surreal. Yeah. And Trump definitely collapsed the expectations for sure. Because he ran on fucking vibes too. He ran on a lot of vibes. Big time. So now, because of his incompetence and because of how much of a fucking like entertainment magnet he is, ultimately the Democrats can kind of get away with just also not really doing anything in terms of like launching any kind of progressive policy solutions, prescriptions whatsoever, and just like looking to carve out 10,000 votes in Georgia and maybe 20,000 votes that might be like Trump Republicans but are in the margins in Pennsylvania, and hope that like this race will swing in their favor. Oh,